Study philosophy, or you just studied philosophy before? You do, okay. I have like very big criticisms of Western philosophy. I think it doesn't give you answers, and it entices you to be a hyper skeptic, to question everything and not bring an answer to something.
I think philosophy is about just constructing a framework so you can understand reality. I don't think it necessarily means to give you answers necessarily.
So how can you understand reality when you don't have answers?
It's just the way you understand it, right?
But that subjectivity is different from objective truth and reality. You cannot say I understand reality based on
objective truth.
That's a problem. That statement itself is self-refutation. You just refuted yourself. Is that statement, there is no absolute truth? Is it absolutely true?
No, not necessarily.
Then there is absolute truth. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a you cannot make that claim because that's a self-refutation argument. You cannot say there's no absolute truth, because if that statement is absolutely true, then there is absolute truth. And if it is false, then there is also absolute truth. Essentially, you cannot make that claim. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think there's different views.
Of who?
It's just people in general.
Yeah, there are subjective views, but there are correct views and incorrect views. For instance, I can believe you don't exist right now. That's a view, but it's an incorrect view.
Not necessarily.
Oh, so it's a correct view, you don't exist.
I don't know how you experience the world. I don't know if you're
No, irrelevant of my experience. Even if I'm not here, you're still there. So again, this is what you're missing. You're looking at every. Do you see? This is why I critique Western philosophy. You know?
I can't look from your view.
Sorry?
I can't look from your view.
I'm not telling you to. But what you can do is to understand that regardless of my view and your view, there's still a world that exists.
Let's say there is.
Do you understand that? Like, look in history where there was no humans, or there's still a universe. That's a problem. You're just proving what I said. Like when I said there is my problem with Western philosophy, you're just demonstrating that the product of Western philosophy, specifically I say Western philosophy because not all philosophy is equal, by the way. But Western philosophy is, you are a product of it today. You don't have any idea of what is absolute true, meaning you don't have conclusions, and you're hyper skeptical of everything. Even, if I stop 99 or 100 people, probably if not 100, 99 would say that there is a world that exists, right? You are a very small, minute. Do you know what I'm saying? So you are a product of what they taught you in university, which is a problem. Because you cannot critique the existence of reality when you yourself are not sure if you exist or you don't exist. How can you do anything when you don't know if you're there, or if the universe is there, or if anything is there?
I do my work within the frameworks that I operate within. That's my limit. I don't.
But what? You don't exist.
I don't claim to make any metaphysical claims or anything.
Do you exist?
Well, on my fundamental, yes, existence as in I experience my own existence. Yeah, I think I can say yeah. But metaphysically, I think Wittgenstein, language game. Within the existence, we understand as a term. We all understand, knows what existence is.
We use language, and the word existence has a very specific meaning in human language. That's why we use human language. So when we say do you exist, by definition you do exist. If I'm asking you a question and you're responding to me, because you cannot respond to me if you didn't exist, and you cannot be asked a question if you don't exist. Now, this is the thing. You cannot start. This is why I'll tell you another problem.
What sort of existence are you talking about?
Existence means to be.
Physical?
To be. In every sense. Physical and spiritual, in every sense, the way you exist as a human being. I'll tell you the problem. In philosophy, another issue is removing something which is very important called intuitive knowledge. Intuitive knowledge does not need to be proving outside of the first person subjective experience. So I don't need to prove to you my intuitive existence. But it's still true, right?
Existence is probably an intuition that we all know.
Yes, and it is true.
It's a fundamental human level, right?
And it is true. So there's intuitive knowledge that can also be accurate and true and absolute. Now, from the same sense, I would say I will not doubt my first person subjective experience, which has been consistent and true throughout my life. I have no reason to doubt it. I only doubt when there is a reason to doubt. You don't start from a position of doubting. But Western philosophy is telling you to start from a position of doubting, which is causing you to be hyper skeptic, and you cannot operate in reality anyways. Because how can I doubt when I don't know if I exist? Who is doubting? I don't even know if I exist.
Pragmatically, I I don't really doubt my own existence or anything. Like
I know, but
when I'm doing the philosophy in of itself, I'm doing it as an academic venture. Then I'm like,
that's why I call it a waste of time. And that's why I critique it, because what you're doing is
I find it interesting.
No, that's fine. You can, no problem. But I'm talking about wasting time from what sense? Is you are spending time critiquing something which is a given fact, right? Or it's, for instance, let me give you an example. Let's say I want to dig for gold, right? I know for a fact that gold is here, but I will dig here. Someone will come to me and say, okay, your digging is useless, a waste of time. It serves no purpose, right?
I do it as in like, not as in, I'm not doing it for answer, I'm finding the digging fun. That's why I do it.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But this is, you see the critique of the person who's telling you the action is purposeless. You can find it fun. There is a purpose that you're trying to attach to it. But external now from fun, which is the first person subjective experience, outside of fun, we were talking about objective reality, not what I find fun or not. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying now,
So
outside
where would I derive that from?
objective reality?
Yeah.
Objective reality exists. Things which are not based on just our first person subjective experience. That is what is objective.
Purpose, so let's say, like my purpose would be intuitive, like how.
Yeah, so I'll explain. So I'm saying whatever is not based on my personal and subjective experience that I personally determine is right or wrong or this or that is objectively the case. Whether I exist or not is objectively true. So, for example, that makes sense now. So this is what I mean by objectivity.
I don't necessarily agree, but for the sake of.
You understand what I'm saying? What I mean by objective? Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you disagree with?
I just think that like if you're being pedantic about it, like I don't think there is just like I don't think we can fundamentally epistemologically like we're fundamentally humanly limited to our senses. So like in that sense, like we can't know the truth. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by truth?
Like,
but you said we're limited.
The absolute reality of things, quote unquote.
I'm not saying that's what we're doing though. But you said we're limited. If we're limited, then we can learn limited realities as well. Right? So there are certain things that we can learn that are absolutely true, not necessarily everything. We don't need to learn everything. We believe only God or the Creator knows everything. Right? We all believe only the Creator knows everything. So let me ask a question now. I kind of already know the answer because of the philosophical background, but I'll ask the question anyways. Do you believe something can come from nothing? Absolute nothingness. No energy, no matter, no space.
I tend to believe that there will probably always something and there will
Excellent.
always be something.
I agree. Okay, so we cannot have something from nothing because if we did, we're not going to have it.
I believe in infinity. Infinite. I believe in it.
You believe something always existed. I don't disagree with you.
Well,
but my question was different.
That's more like persuasive to me. Yeah. I tend to believe in it.
Okay, but I'm asking a different question. I'm asking, can something come from nothing? Is that possible?
Well, I think that's just a metaphysical, like fundamental. There's no agree or disagree. You just either agree or disagree. There's no proof for or against it. Like
no, if nothingness exists, there isn't anything. No matter, no agency, no space, nothing. How can anything arise? There's no agency for it to arise. There's nothing there.
I don't think you can ever understand that.
You are okay. This is what I'm saying. This is a problem with philosophy. Everything I can present to you.
So what's the problem with that?
Everything I can present to you, you can end up saying we cannot know that for a fact, we don't know, you cannot posit that, which then makes things pointless. It makes discussions pointless, and it makes you, essentially, you're not able to come to a conclusion from a discussion. You have to start from a premise, right? You have to agree to a different premise in order for you to move in a discussion.
I think fundamentally philosophy is just, really it's about,
honestly,
it's about expressing your fundamental beliefs, which are really fundamentally just emotional things, or like, they're not actually like rational, logical. We try to connect with other people, and that's the way through rational talk. That's philosophy. Like it's communication. It's a really advanced.
I think
you're communicating your intrinsic, innate, intuitive values that you believe in.
Sure, that's the philosophy you're learning, but that's not where philosophy originated and what it actually means. Do you know what the word means, philosophy? Where does the word come from? The etymology of the word. Okay, yes. You think Aristotle and Socrates were using their feelings or rationality or logic when they were positing what they believed in? They were using rationality and logic. If you were
but I feel like their metaphysical intuitions came from like fundamentally psychological, emotional state.
but you feel. Again, that's about feeling.
I'm not.
Yeah, so if you go back to what they posited, you will see they have posited objective existence of reality. They have premises and they have conclusions.
Yeah.
They didn't do whatever you're doing right now, or whatever is happening in university, whatever they're teaching. And that's why I call it pointless, because it is not seeking answers and it's not delivering answers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, all it's doing is like, we don't know, nobody can know. You know what I'm saying?
Pointless in what sense?
In every sense, it's just a waste of time. You don't have a conclusion, you don't have a premise, and you don't have a benefit in the discussion that you would have. So that's what I mean by pointless in every sense of the word.
I'm doing it.
The only thing will be the feeling.
Yeah.
No, but I'm trying to have a conversation with you right now by positing facts and reality,
Are you trying to
right?
convince me of something?
I'm trying to posit logic and reasoning, and then through that we can come to a conclusion.
Yeah, but I think. Oh, so.
Do you get what I'm saying? This is what a conversation is where you posit reasoning and rationality. The other person posits reasoning and rationality, opposite to what you say, if they do have it, and then you come to a conclusion on who's correct in the end, right? So unless you figure out that and understand that, this is the way most people would discuss. I'd really say, if I was in your position, I would sit down and really think the effects and I would call it brainwashing that the philosophy I'm learning in university is having on me on a day-to-day life, or patterns of thinking. That's what I would do.
Like, think about what?
Generally, how you look at life, how you posit things, how you come to conclusions. Because again, if I stop 100, there's something called common sense. You know what that is? That's the common sense, common rationality that is present within every human being. If I stop 100 people and say, can something come from nothing? They will say no. Because they know nothing is the absence of everything, and if you have the absence of everything, it will always be the absence of everything. If I say 0 plus 0 equals what? Equals 0. Right? If I put it in a mathematical format. So if I ask you, on the other hand, when you learn philosophy in university, we cannot do whatever you're answering before, right? So what ended up happening, the process that you did in university ended up changing your pattern of thinking as a human being and taking you away from the common sense of human beings, literally.
Okay.
So I think maybe you can reflect on that.
But I don't really see the negative from, like, I can still operate on a common sense level.
But you don't exist. How can you see the negative of anything?
I never said I do.
Do you exist?
Well, pragmatically, yes, I do.
No, is it absolutely true, a fact that you exist?
I don't know.
Yes, you could, maybe you don't exist. So you cannot posit anything.
Yeah, but that doesn't really give me any angst or whatever. Like,
Sorry?
it doesn't really pose a problem to me, really.
Oh no, it poses a problem to you, because if you don't exist, then what are we doing right now?
I just do it because
I'm just trying to show you that. I'm honestly just trying through absurdity show you.
yeah, I know, like.
Yes, that's the only thing I'm trying to do. But I'll give you the Quran.
I'm not nihilistic about any stuff.
Sure. But you have to be nihilistic if you're an atheist.
But I'm not nihilistic. I live with my family, I live with my parents, I live with my friends.
You live for your friends, for your family. Why?
Because I love them.
Why is love?
I don't know, that's an emotional thing.
Okay, so essentially there's no meaning behind it because you cannot define it and you don't know its source.
Okay, but I don't think that necessarily needs.
You live for your own emotions, essentially, that's it. Yeah, you live for your desires.
I think everybody does.
No, there are people who live because they know this life is a test and they're trying to serve God. There are people who try to do other than what you're doing. Not everyone lives for the same purpose. It's absolutely false.
Yeah, I guess. I think I've just because I've studied philosophy since I was like 11.
Sure.
So I think maybe I'm too far gone into it, like to even.
Yeah, no, but I was telling you, like, this is how Western philosophy is generally taught. That's why I paused it in the beginning of the discussion before even talking to you. Because I didn't even want to get into a discussion about God because I knew how you're going to respond.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No,
So,
I'm familiar with.
so I want to go more of a grounding, understanding the problem of it.
Islamic philosophers and stuff. I do.
Yes.
Honestly, I do probably believe like there is probably like some entity out there. Like,
Sure.
you know, like I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't, like,
Yes.
if God exists. Yeah.
Yes, and if God exists, then there is consequences for that, right? So it's very important that we take heed to what God wants from us in this life. Because if He put us here, and there is a purpose behind Him creating us, then if we don't do good and there is a punishment, like God says, it's an objective reality that there is a punishment. So then the pattern of behavior that we take in life should be based on that, whether there is a God or there isn't a God. So that's a very fundamental, important question to look at.
Yeah, I think, well, what do you think about this? I think that like religion is more like, I think religion is good, honestly. I think it's good for the world.
Of course it is.
I think it gives you structure, it gives you community. But I feel like these are the big driving factors for why religion is so successful. Not necessarily because it's logically.
Sure, but it's not the only reason why religion is good. Without religion and scripture, you don't have good or bad anyways. You have objective.
I feel like it's just like just as I sort of like believe in like Western philosophy, it's like I think it's like just equally dogmatic to believe in. We're all just in the end we're just wrong with this. Like we're just believing in whatever we want to believe. Because, like
that's incorrect.
That's how we grew up.
I'll tell you why it's incorrect. It's incorrect from every aspect. First, from the aspect of a personal experience, what benefits you as a human being in believing in a religion. Now, if we compare it to Western, as I said, Western philosophy, you just doubt everything, doubt your existence. You have no conclusions, you have no premises. That is the personal thing that there's no benefit, essentially. Talk about following religion, there are tons of benefits. Whether it is your relationship with God, which gives you spiritual fortitude and strength, mental strength, right? It also gives you answers for the suffering that you go through in life. It gives you community and purpose as a human being. It gives you guidance in life, how to seek through what is the good things that you need to do, what is the bad things that you need to avoid. There are tons of benefits that you get from following a religion that absolutely you get nothing from Western philosophy.
I guess it's because like I just don't believe I have like I think the suffering and like all these things don't really need explanation. Like it's just a part of life. Like you know, like I don't know, like
this is philosophy speaking again. You know, if I were to take you right now and put you in my basement and start taking your nails off one by one and wait for them to grow and keep repeating that process, you will care about suffering. Why? Because it's happening to you. Right now you're saying that is because you live an easy life. There are tons of people who are in active suffering and they would care about suffering and explanations for it, and they will need mental fortitude for it. Why do people commit suicide? Because many people come to that conclusion of absolute suffering in which there's no purpose, no nihilism, and then they want to. You came to that point before, so you're proving the point.
I just realized like, well, it's just not that deep. Like, it's just, as long as if I just maintain my relationship with my family and my friends, like.
But that's still, I don't want to tell you those purposes because I don't want you to try again. You know, I want you to stay alive. You know, so I'm not gonna.
I found solace in my family and like.
That's good.
My community.
That's good.
Like,
yes.
In the same way, like religion is community.
Not only that.
That's a big thing. Right?
I told you on a personal level, it gives you answers to these questions, even without, because there's many people who don't have families. You know, what are they going to live for?
Maybe if I didn't have a family, then maybe I'm more inclined to.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's not just about family religion, it's about your connection with God, your purpose in this life, and where are you going in the afterlife.
I guess maybe I'm fulfilled enough.
Well, you're saying that right now, but you will die one day. I mean, if there is a God, your fulfillment is irrelevant because there will be a punishment for not following the command. So I'll let you read first, and I do hope you like investigate a bit what we were saying about the effects of Western philosophy in you. You know, I hope it was a good conversation.
No,
Pleasure talking to you. No problem. Nice talking to you. See you.